The conversation, I'm going to share it with you, but it will prove the kind of hurtful things that we're allowing in this time and treating people poorly. And I just want to bring some things to your attention to be mindful of, to see if you are doing this. And if you are, see if there's any way that you might be able to do this a little better. Before we get started, I'm going to ask you to subscribe, like, comment, share, turn on that notification button. Let's do this. Hey, I feel like we are in a space where there has been so much division throughout the years. I mean, for the past few hundred years, but I'm just going to talk about just the last several decades of the kind of division that marketing has used to its advantage in order to get the things that it wants done. Now, who's using the marketing? Then it could be any major corporations or governments or individuals who create enough stir around a situation that it knows that there is a certain amount of people who will just jump on the bandwagons. During quarantine, people were just coming on their porches and doing concerts. So in the next block, that's what happened last night. And I could hear the music, so I eventually just kind of grabbed a beer and went down and had a conversation with this young woman. She must have been early 30s, had her 8-year-old daughter with her, and she just moved here from like West Virginia, somewhere like that. The conversation, I'm going to share it with you, but it will prove the kind of hurtful things that we're allowing in this time and treating people poorly. And I just want to bring some things to your attention to be mindful of, to see if you are doing this. And if you are, see if there's any way that you might be able to do this a little better. For some of you, I may be bringing it to your attention. For others of you, you may hear me and still just decide, no, you're going to stay on that path, and that's your choice. But I'm really bothered by just how badly we so easily treat each other. And when I say I'm bothered, then I'm not up at night about it. But to hear some of the things that people so freely say negatively because of other people's decisions, I think that's reason to check ourselves. So we are each individuals, y'all. We came here for our own path and purpose. There is not going to be any one thing that's going to be right for everybody. Neither should it be. We didn't come here for anybody else's approval, acceptance. It's nice to have, but we don't need it. But if you don't get it, we also don't need to be bashing folk just for the decisions they make. If we understood individuality more, and how momentum is built for bandwagons, then you can be a little more mindful about when you jump on them and how they are not to your advantage. It may feel better because it's ego-driven, and most people don't even understand that. And then to talk to you about emotional quotient. And so we have a lot of people in their industries who, I say this all the time, intellect does not equal smart. Just because you have been groomed in a particular industry with letters behind your name does not mean you know how to live. It means that you have been groomed in a particular industry in the ways that they wanted to school you. And according to the world, then you are intelligent. But that does not equal smart. Too many people are bamboozled by their letters behind their names, when there are people with no letters who have far more empathy, who have more self-awareness, and who have more impulse control. Those are the things that are a part of emotional intelligence. Here's the story. Because I was really bothered. But by the time I left, I was good. She was bothered. So I grabbed me a beer and I head on down the street. I could hear the music from inside, and I just passed there, so I knew that they were setting up. So I went on back out, and I'm just standing, just kind of enjoying the music myself and bobbing and sipping. And this girl, I see this girl walking up with her kid, and they came and stood near me. Clearly not from New Orleans, though. You can always tell. Those of us who are from New Orleans always know when people are not. So she came. I kind of looked over at her, but she wouldn't give eye contact. And eventually we started talking. And somehow we get on that thing we're not supposed to mention. I don't really know how that happened, because I tend not to talk about it. I do my best to stay away from anything that is going to create, the kind of division that has strong momentums behind it. I will have conversations with people who will have conversations. Wait, that's how it started. Here's the conversation. She started talking about her daughter. We were saying where we lived, and she told me where she lived. I told her where I lived, and she said, "Oh, well, we may see you when we're headed to the bus stop," because she gets to start to start catching the bus next week. And I go, "Oh, so that's how it started." And she said, "Yeah, the kids, they have to have their masks on," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's a different day, isn't it?" She's like, "Yeah, it sure is." She said, "I went back to work, and those idiots, they're just stupid, started pulling down the sign saying no masks. We're not doing any masks anymore." She was really upset about it. And she said, "They're idiots. They're just idiots." And I said, "Oh, you're back in the office." And she says, "Yeah, and I was excited about going back." And I said, "Oh, no remote for you then, I guess." And she says, "No, I work in a lab." I said, "Oh, a scientist." And she goes, "Yes, can you believe it? We're scientists, and these idiots are saying no more masks. We need to be wearing masks because we don't know who's lying, and they could be lying about it." And what I said to her is, I have conversations with people on both sides, and I don't particularly feel strongly about either side, because people have the right to make their own decisions. That is not a common perspective these days, because the momentum has been built so much to create the division and to have people so strongly set on opposing anybody and teaching them to oppose anybody who has a differing opinion for whatever reason. I said, and she said, "Well, you're better than me. You're having conversations with people on both sides, because I can't stand them and I will not talk to them." That's some narrow thinking. I know y'all, I can hear it. People are dying. Yes. I'm not refuting anything that is happening. But does that give you the right to treat people poorly? Why? No. We're losing our humanity in this. People are where they are. And my response to her was, everybody is not just anti. For people who are anti, they have the right to be. But everybody's not anti. I personally know somebody very, very close to me who has anaphylaxis so bad that they could die. Even talking to their doctors are like, no, Not something you need to be doing, because we don't know how you're going to respond. But she's experiencing all kinds of backlash to the point that why have a conversation and be honest and say, nah, that's a difficult, no, I'm not doing it, or I can't do it. Because people are telling her it doesn't matter, a whole lot of people have it and you still need to get it. We need to back up and understand, go back and start to understand what marketing is. Because that is what is happening here. There is a lot of marketing going on. And if anything you are doing is causing you to treat people poorly because they're making a different decision, it's not your business. And I'm not just saying, y'all, if you've been around me, you know I'm not just saying that about this. I say anything. I've been saying all along that you take on stuff that's just not your business. And that's why people are so sick, because they keep taking on other people's stuff. It's not your business. Do you. Take care of you and your household. Anybody who's underage, you're still responsible for. Anybody who's not, you need to leave alone. Leave people alone. Emotional intelligence is far more important than intellectual quotient. IQ versus EQ, baby. EQ is going to win out every day. She's a scientist. She's already been conditioned to jump on that pendulum that is swinging in that with the momentum to dislike and dismiss, disregard, even hell, treat people as less than human because they have a different opinion. That is what she's been conditioned for. That doesn't make it truth. I ain't say we have to agree on positions. I am just warning that there are too many relationships that are crumbling because people are on whatever side of a strong pendulum, with the momentum going. And that's on both sides, y'all. It's on both sides. Not treating people well. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's immature. I think it's narrow-minded. I think that people don't have emotional intelligence. And it's obvious. So I am the queen of personal growth. That will never change. What I ended up saying to her is, I will never treat people poorly because they have a differing opinion. It doesn't matter what it is, or they are doing what they want to do with their bodies. Everybody has the right to do what they want to do with their bodies. They do. If they could mandate it, they would have. That's all I'm going to say. And I've not said whether or not I have or not, because it ain't your business. I am speaking from a personal growth perspective and how poorly we're treating people because of whichever side they're on. If you got a household that you don't want somebody to come in, then do Skype. Don't disregard your family for that. You're going to excommunicate your loved ones because of decisions they make? You have a right to say, I'm not comfortable with you coming around then. But but to say I have to excommunicate? Say we have to Skype now. Say we have to FaceTime. Say we, while we work through this, because the reality is none of us really knows how this thing is going to play out. We do not. We don't. Just stop treating people poorly. So what I said to her is, sweetheart, I am a black woman from the South born in the 60s. If I can opt not to get on the bandwagon of race, sexism, politics, and all of the other ways that they have divided, if I can opt to not jump on any of those, then surely you can consider little lily white girl. How it is not demonstrating empathy at all to just because of your conditioning as a scientist, because she was very proud of that, because of your conditioning as a scientist, and you have to be on this side. It's okay to have to do what you got to do. It's not okay to mistreat others and I won't talk to them. They're stupid. Come on, y'all. Let's grow up. Let's grow up. I make my decisions and I am connected with my source. And what's going to happen in my life is going to happen in my life. People operate in fears. When the fears kick in, then they run rampant. And then we've got all the propaganda that's just lined up to keep you in that narrow place. Remember, we're all people. We're all people. Humanity first, y'all. Humanity first. I don't know how this one's going to land. I don't know how you're going to feel about it. But if you'll keep humanity first without compromising who you are, you can stand firm in your decisions without disrespecting, dismissing, and dishonoring people for having their own choices to make, making their own choices. Okay? And you just stay clear. It's okay. You can create your bubble. Just don't treat people poorly. That's what I wish we wouldn't do for any reason, anytime. All right, that's what I have for you today. I don't know where it's going to land, but God knows it's coming from a loving place. Everybody has the right to make their own decisions. I do. I make my own decisions. You have the right to make your own decisions. Don't treat people poorly because they make a decision that's different than yours. That's my message. All right? Thank you. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. Bye for now.